11, you think, are you familiar with Tower 7?
Yeah, I would say from almost every story, even the stuff we've talked about before in the past, I don't believe the official, in quotes.
Okay. So you know that Tower 7 was the third tower that went down. You're aware of that, right?
Yeah, I look more when that comes up. All of the surrounding information about what was in the buildings, not the actual event. I know the event happened. I'm not so curious about that.
But did you see the video of Tower 7 just going falls at free fall speed? That's got to be a little suspicious. Right, a red flag got to come up, at least, right? If you're really trying to get to the truth, you're like, wait a minute.
I would say it's more suspicious that a third building fell that wasn't
even hit.
This is the shocking footage of BBC reporter Jane Stanley reporting the collapse of WTC Building 7, a full 20 minutes before it actually fell. The BBC report took place at 5 p.m. on the afternoon of 9/11, with Jane standing in front of the New York skyline. Though Jane reports the collapse, the Salomon Brothers WTC-7 is quite clearly visible over her right shoulder. You can even make out the vents on top of the roof you see in the picture here. Now, how else could they possibly know that this building was going to collapse 20 minutes before it did, unless there was something more sinister going on? Let's just say the owners of the mainstream media like the BBC most certainly are very aware of every event that is going to take place long before anyone else does. Take a look over the shoulder of Jane Stanley in this clip as she reports the collapse as WTC-7 stands right behind her.
You might have heard a few moments ago
this
the official story can't be true. And we have probably the most obvious Achilles heel is Building 7. You know about Building 7?
Yes.
Well, you may do, but enormous numbers of people worldwide don't.
For those who don't, Building 7 was the third building that came down that day.
If you said to most people, it still is most people, how many buildings came down on 9/11? They'd say 2.
Yeah.
In fact, there was a court case in New York where it was related to 9/11 and the subject of Building 7 came up and the judge actually asked, what's Building 7, right?
Wow.
So Building 7 was a 47-story steel frame building.
The skyscraper,
owned by Larry Silverstein, who owned it before he bought the lease, weeks before 9/11, for the Twin Towers. If you go on the internet, on YouTube, you put in Building 7 collapse or whatever, you will see the most obvious controlled demolition you'll ever see. You know
what?